The 13th Amendment, Section 1. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, or any place subject to their jurisdiction.
The 13th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution abolished slavery, but included a clause that allowed for involuntary servitude as a punishment for a crime. This clause has been used to justify exploitation of black labor in the form of the convict leasing and mass incarceration.
Because of the involuntary servitude clause in the 13th Amendment, prisoners were used as a form of free labor. This came in the form of convict leasing. The work done by convicts led to further financial gains for the government.
The documentary also discusses the rise of private prisons, which profit from incarcerating people and have lobbied for harsher sentencing laws. The film argues that the profit motive has driven mass incarceration and that private prisons have created a system that incentivizes the incarceration of more people, especially people of color.
During this convict leasing, convicts were sent out to mines, roadways being built, and large labor. The prisoners were not paid for their work and often exposed to a dangerous and toxic work environment that at times were inhumane.
The states and the nation profited off of convict leasing, and these profits were put back into the justice system, which inherently is unjust toward minority groups. And this perpetuated the mass incarceration movement that started after the Civil War ended to rebuild the economy of the South.
Jim Crow laws were meant to perpetuate segregation and discrimination through laws that prohibited black people from voting, holding jobs, and pursuing their education.
The film highlights the ways in which the war on drugs, initiated in the 1980s, has been used to disproportionately target and incarcerate black Americans. The film argues that this was a deliberate policy choice, not just a byproduct of drug use patterns in different communities.
Once someone is branded a felon by being incarcerated, parts of the Jim Crow laws become legal again, such as the denied right to vote, the ease of holding a job, and the decline in opportunities for education and other opportunities.
Rainbow Round My Shoulder was a song by Al Jolson. It said that the rainbow image was referring to the arc of a swinging pick. The song has been written about in regards to Southern Chains Gangs by John A. Lomax.
I'm happy, so happy, walking on air, the why and the wherefore is someone I care for. I'm yelling and telling folks everywhere, I know that you love me, so why do I care? There's a rainbow round my shoulder and a sky of blue above. Oh, the sun shines bright, the world's all right, 'cause I'm in love.
Rainbow Round My Shoulder is a dance theater piece choreographed by McKayle and performed by the Alvin Ailey Dance Theater. The dance premiered in 1959 and has become one of McKayle's most celebrated works. The story is about a group of prisoners who work on a chain gang in the American South.
I had a gal.
The men express their hopes, dreams, and struggles through dance, song, and the spoken word. The women in their lives represented as images, love, hope, and redemption. The piece explores themes of racism, poverty, and the resilience of human spirit. The choreography is set to a variety of music, including African American work songs, spirituals, and blues. The dancers' movements are powerful, advocate, and are full of emotion.
Now early one morning, no, it won't be long. You'll call my name, and I'll be gone. Fare thee well, oh honey, fare thee well.
As you watch the dance, you can see the portrayal of the involuntary servitude clause and the convict leasing that was birthed because of mass incarceration through the dancers' portrayal of being on a prison chain gang. Through the moves, it also becomes apparent that mass incarceration was used as a way to control minority groups for social and racial control.
Another man done gone, another man done gone. They killed another man. They killed another man. They killed another.
Around the time that this dance was created, there was a law and order argument, and because of this emergence of the civil rights movement, race was brought into politics. Prison life changed in the late 1950s and early 1960s because for the first time prisoners had the right to file a court order, and that would not only look at the length of their sentence but also the legality of their sentence, which benefited those of color for when they were thrown in jail for small crimes or given an outrageous amount of time for the crime that was committed.
He had a long change on. He had a long change on. He had a long chain on.
The film also touches on the issue of police brutality and the Black Lives Matter movement, arguing that police violence against Black Americans is a continuation of a long history of state violence against Black people.
With police brutality and the criminalization of minorities, specifically Black people, a sense of community and relationships within the Black community were more important than ever. Without community, there is no one to protect each other and stand up for each other.
Pavement was choreographed by Kyle Abraham. The video showcases the talent and versatility of the dancers who move with grace, precision, and intensity. The movements are fluid and seamless, blending contemporary dance with hip-hop and other styles. The use of slow motion and close-up shots adds dramatic effect and emphasizes the dancers' facial expressions and emotions.
What's the matter now?
The video highlights the choreographer's dynamic use of space, with the dancers moving in and out of formations and using the floor and the walls as part of the performance. The video's editing and music create a sense of tension and anticipation, building up to a climactic moment towards the end. The use of urban settings as backdrops, such as graffiti-covered walls and empty parking lots, adds to the performance's edgy and contemporary vibe.
2095, 2095, 459 Ringer, 1420, South Tower.
highlights the importance of the relationships and the sense of community during the mass incarceration through the connection that is felt between the dancers on stage and the movements performed by the dancers. It also focuses on the loss and support that the dancers provide for one another.
Terrors and tragedies. Praises are to
Rainbow Round My Shoulder was choreographed to shed light on the topic of what it was like to be in a southern prison chain gang in the early period of time when convict leasing was prevalent.
Pavement was choreographed in response to Kyle Abraham's childhood in Pittsburgh's Hills District and as a response to Boys in the Hood film to counteract the troubling views of African American culture that surrounds both topics.
Even though both dances were choreographed for different purposes, they are both considered political dance theater, and they both portray different aspects of mass incarceration.
The following are activists whose work was highlighted in the film 13th.
Angela Davis, a leader that emerged in the 1960s during the civil rights movement and advocated for the abolishment of prisons and the prison industrial complex. She is most notable for her arrest and trial in the 1970s, where she was accused of purchasing a gun that was used to aid Jonathan Jackson in the hostage situation of the Marin County courtroom. She was charged with aggravated kidnapping and first-degree murder.
Van Jones is the CEO of Reform Alliance. That was an organization founded in 2019. Reform's goal is to reduce the number of people who are unjustly under control of the criminal justice system.
Cory Booker, the Senator of New Jersey. In his first term, he wrote and passed the First Step Act, which was a set of criminal justice reforms. He also passed the Fair Chance Act, which made it easier to fund work for those who were released from prison.
Newt Gingrich, in the early 1990s, he said that we needed to put more Americans behind bars, but after learning more, he changed his thought process and now believes that the criminal justice system is broken because of the high cost to maintain the facilities and the lost human potential of the prisoners behind the bars for minor crimes.
Cory Booker, the Senator of New Jersey. In his first term, he wrote and passed the First Step Act, which was.
I'm sorry, I'm done.
Not even
Newt
in,
Gingrich.
not even in frame.
That was cold, though.
You started it?
Go.
No, that's too close.
McKayle's most celebrated works. The story is about a group of prisoners who work on a chain gang.
Oh shit, my bad.
Okay, I'm gonna practice it. So I'm actually gonna back up a little bit so I don't smack my head on the table. Go.
You can't laugh though. I'm trying to get myself composed.
Yeah.
Oh, shit, wait, hold on. I moved the table a little bit too.
You guys still recording?
Yeah.
All right, boom.
Yeah. Okay. Ready? Whenever you're ready.
Behind bars, but after learning, he changed his thought process and now believes the criminal justice system